Session for company law by Professor Priyanka Srivastava. Yesterday we had covered so many amendment related to this subject, and कल बीच में हमारा इंटरनेट कनेक्शन मैम का थोड़ा लूज हो गया था, तो जहाँ पे हमने कल जहाँ से कल हमारा क्लोज हुआ था वहीं से हम आगे का सेशन स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। जिन स्टूडेंट ने कल का सेशन नहीं देखा था या नहीं ज्वाइन कर पाए थे, आप हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पे जाके उस सेशंस को देख सकते हैं। Also, I will share this Telegram link in the chat and WhatsApp group for the CMA final and CA final students. आप उसको ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, एंड जो भी इस तरह के हम फ्यूचर सेशंस करेंगे आपके फाइनल लेवल स्टूडेंट के लिए, चाहे वो सीए फाइनल एग्जाम का हो चाहे सीएमए फाइनल का एग्जाम का हो। अर्लियर हमने संजय बिल्किन सर के साथ एफआर पे सेशंस किए थे, सीए फाइनल के लिए भी और सीएमए फाइनल सीएफआर पे भी सेशंस किए थे। वो भी आपको यूट्यूब चैनल पे मिल जाएंगे सारे जो रिकॉर्डिंग है। साथ में हमने एच एल गुप्ता सर के साथ एसएफएम पे भी सेशन किए हैं सीएमए फाइनल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, वो भी रिकॉर्डिंग आपको यूट्यूब पे मिल जाएंगे। सो मैम, नाउ वी आर गुड टू गो। We are live on Facebook and now we can start.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, students. Welcome to the session. This is the second session for amendment series. And in previous session, we have seen some amendments regarding section 188. And in this section, we will going to complete the yesterday session. Along with this, we are going to do the amendments related to independent directors. So before moving toward this amendment, we're going to complete what we were studying yesterday regarding related party transactions. So there were some provisos that was left yesterday, so I'm starting with that only. So the fifth proviso that we were on is like transaction between a holding company and its wholly owned subsidiary. So in section 188, the related party transaction, when it is entered between a holding company and a wholly owned subsidiary, and accounts of such holding and wholly owned subsidiaries are consolidated with such holding company, and it is placed before the shareholder at the general meeting. So when such a transaction is between a holding company and a wholly owned subsidiary, and the accounts of those are being consolidated and it is placed before the shareholder at general meeting, then such holding company does not need to seek approval of shareholders by passing ordinary resolution. The reason is that कि उन्होंने पहले ही अप्रूवल ले लिया है, बिकॉज उनका कंसोलिडेटेड अकाउंट्स में रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजेक्शन इज ऑलरेडी बीन डिस्क्लोज, सो नो नीड टू हैव अ डुप्लीकेसी ऑफ द रूल्स. ओके, सो डुप्लीकेसी प्रोसीजर को डुप्लीकेसी करने का कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपने पहले ही उसको शेयर होल्डर्स के आगे प्लेस कर दिया है, इसलिए ये एग्जेम्पशन हमको मिला है. ठीक है. The second thing is whenever a related party transaction is entered between a holding company and a wholly owned subsidiary, and that holding company has passed the ordinary resolution for that transaction, then wholly owned subsidiary company is not required to pass that ordinary resolution again. Reason being, the holding owned company holds 100% shares of this company, so all the shareholders are same, so we do not require to pass this again. Okay. Now a question arises, what happened when a contract or arrangement related to related party transaction entered by the company, by the directors or any employee of the company without taking approval of the board or shareholder, as the case may be. So at that point, it becomes voidable at the option of of the board or shareholder, as the case may be, if it is not ratified, if it is not corrected by the board or shareholder within 3 months. So they have two options: either they can correct this particular thing which has happened without their knowledge within 3 months from the date on which such contract is entered, and if they are not able to ratify the same, then they can declare this as a voidable. So if they want to continue with the transaction, they can ratify it, and if they don't want it, then it will automatically become voidable at the option of the company if it is not ratified within 3 months. What happens if a company suffers any kind of loss due to this act of any director or employee? So in that case, the director will be liable for all the losses that is incurred to the company due to such contract or arrangement, and the director liability is there, and director has to company can recover the losses from such director. So section 188 subsection 4 says the same thing, that it is open for the company to proceed against the director, such director or employee who has entered into such contract in contravention with the provision of section 188. And in that case, it is there is a punishment also. If it is a listed company, then such defaulting director will be punishable with an imprisonment up to 1 year, or fine of minimum 25,000 to maximum 5 lakh, or both. And in other companies, only fine is there, no imprisonment is there. So defaulting director or employee shall be punishable with a minimum fine of 25,000 to 5 lakh. And such related party transactions, we need to make such disclosure in the board report of the company, along with the justification that why the company has entered into such transaction. Now, with this, we had ended with the topic section 188. If anyone has a query regarding it, you can ask in the chat box. Okay. Now, I'm giving you a time of a minute. You can ask any query if you want. Satyam, do we have any query?
Right now we don't have.
Okay, so without wasting any time, we move forward towards next topic of our day, that is amendment related to independent director. So there are many amendment that has come to independent director, and there are again and again the series of amendment is continuously coming. So we are going to we will be taking amendment up to the time which is applicable for our attempt. So please note this, okay? And whatever I am teaching here, after that, if any amendment comes, that is not relevant for your examination. Only this amendment which I am mentioning you in this slides will be applicable on your attempt, okay? So let's start with the series first. Introduction, that is when this amendment comes. So there's the new notifications that is dated 22nd October 2019. The effective date of this notification is 31st December 2019. So from 31st December 2019, this act is basically, these amendments are basically applicable, which is related to introduction of data bank of independent director in accordance with section 150. What was section 150? If anyone remembers, I just remind you that section 150 tells the manner of appointment of independent director. So there was a data bank on of independent director that was created by the institute, that is Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, where the company can pick up any eligible person who is eligible to appointed as an independent director. Then company conducts due diligence by itself on that particular person, whether he has complied with the provision of section 149 subsection 6. I assume you all know it. Okay, so that is the basically eligibility condition. If anyone wants to get appointed as an independent director, he need to comply with those conditions. So this due diligence need to be done by the company, and then the company need to place such appointment in the general meeting, and by ordinary resolution the appointment takes place. So this is a summary of section 150. Then I have just given you a brief because this amendment is related to that. And then a brief detail of this notification I'm going to discuss right now. First of all, the institute, this is Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs at Manesar. It is notified by MCA in this notification. And why this institute is created? It is created to basically create and maintain a data bank from which contains the name, address, and qualification of the persons who are basically eligible and who are willing to act as independent directors. So basically, who are eligible as per section 149 subsection 6, plus who are willing to act as an independent director, who has relevant experience and expertise with respect to that. For the use of the company, they can make the appointment of such director from such data bank. So this data bank is available to all those companies on which there is a requirement to appoint an independent director. Now, let us see this is the most important part of the amendment, that is the rule 6 has been introduced by the MCA via amendment that they had made in companies appointment and qualification of fifth amendment rules 2019, and the date of that commencement of this rule is 1st December 2019. So from this date, this rule is applicable. So on whom basically these rules are applicable. So this rule is applicable basically on all existing independent directors. That is all the independent directors who are existing uh, currently on the board, who has currently been appointed in the board, and all aspiring independent director, that is who is not appointed yet as an independent director but they want to be appointed as independent director in the companies in near future. And then the companies which are required to appoint independent director under the Companies Act. So Companies Act made mandatory for certain companies to appoint independent director mandatorily. So such companies also this rule is applicable. Okay. So first we'll revise that what are the companies, what kind of companies have to appoint independent director mandatorily. So this is every listed company has to appoint at least one third of the total director as an independent director. So for example, the total director we have is 9 director, so at least one third, that will be at least 3 director in such company should be an independent director. Okay. And every public company whose paid up share capital is 10 crore or more, or turnover is 100 crore or more, or have aggregate outstanding loan, debenture and deposit 50 crore or more, then such company need to mandatorily appoint at least 2 director as an independent director. So these are the kind of company who mandatorily have to follow the rule 6 as well. Okay. There are certain exemptions to this criteria, that is a joint venture company, a wholly owned subsidiary company, a dormant company, that is an company which is registered itself as a dormant company under section 455 of this act, will not require to appoint an independent director irrespective of their of being a public company and falling under any of the above criteria. Okay. Now, starting with the rule 6, that is about what we were talking about. So rule 6 is basically tells about the compliances which is required by a person who is eligible and willing to be appointed as independent director. So this compliances need to be followed by the person who is like a proposed independent director and who is an existing independent director. So this criteria is for existing independent director, and this is for proposed independent director. For example, Mr. X is yet not appointed as an independent director, but वो future में appoint हो सकते हैं, या they are like proposed to get appointed in near future in X Limited, then he needs to follow this conditions. Okay. So what it says, this is the sub rule 1, which says every individual on the given date who is a person in a independent is an independent director in a company, so is already an independent director in a company. So such independent director has to apply to institute, that is Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs that we have discussed right now, for inclusion of his name in database of independent director within 7 months from such commencement. So commencement is 1st December 2019. So from this date, within 7 months, they have to include their name in the database of independent director. Now you would be thinking कि ये 3 months and 5 months मैंने काटा क्यों हुआ है? Because earlier, when this rule came, it was 3 months, then it is amended, then it becomes 5 months, it again got amended, and now it is 7 months, which is applicable for your examination. That is by 30th June 2020, they had to include their name in the database. जो भी existing independent director है, उनको अपना नाम इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर के डेटाबेस में जो IICA मेंटेन करता है उसमें अपना नाम इंसर्ट करवाना था, ठीक है। अभी उनको विद इन 7 months करवाना है. स्टिल देयर आर कमिंग सम अमेंडमेंट्स कमिंग फॉर दिस टाइमलाइन, but for your examination this 7th month is applicable. So for you the relevant date is 30th June 2020. Up to this date बेसिकली जो एग्जिस्टिंग इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर है उनको अपना नाम इंक्लूड कराना है किसमें, इन द डेटाबेस ऑफ ID बैंक, ओके। एंड this is for proposed independent director, that is who intends to get appointed, जो appointed होना चाहते हैं as independent director after the date of commencement. What is the date of commencement? 1st December 2019. So जिसको भी appoint होना है 1st December 2019 के बाद, तो उसे ये condition comply करना पड़ेगा, then only he will able to appoint as an independent director in a company. What is that? He need to apply to the institute online for inclusion of his name in the database for a period of 1 year, 5 year, lifetime बिफोर सच अपॉइंटमेंट. तो अपने अपॉइंटमेंट के पहले उसे इंस्टीट्यूट में अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, अपना नाम रजिस्टर कराना पड़ेगा, और वो नाम जो है वो रजिस्टर्ड होगा फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ आइदर 1 year और 5 year और लाइफ टाइम एज द केस में बी, जैसा भी उसने अपने एप्लीकेशन में डाला होगा उस हिसाब से उसका अपॉइंटमेंट, उसका नेम इंक्लूड हो जाएगा फॉर दैट पीरियड. Now, after completion of that period, will he need to renew his registration for the purpose of getting included his name in database? Obviously yes, but वो होगा in case of 1 year या 5 year का registration अगर कराया है. If अगर उसने registration कराया है lifetime का, then renewal की कोई भी जरूरत नहीं है. For this, sub rule 2 gives the more clarification which says application for renewal of further period. So अगर आपने 1 year या 5 year के लिए registration कराया है, तो application shall be made within a period of 30 days. You have to make the application within a period of 30 days from the date of expiry of the period up to which the name of individual was applied for inclusion. So suppose अगर उसका 1st January 2020 में एक्सपायर होना था, तो बाय 30th January उसको अपना एप्लीकेशन देना होगा. ही नीड टू गिव हिज दिस एप्लीकेशन टू द इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर दिस रिन्यूअल along with the prescribed fee. And अगर वो नहीं देता है, failing which, then the name of such individual shall stand removed from the data bank of the institute. So in case अगर वो apply नहीं करता है renewal के लिए within a period of 30 days, then his name will get removed and no need to get file any renewal application in case of a lifetime registration, because you had already paid the fees for lifetime. So no need to have an again duplicacy of procedure को follow करने की जरूरत नहीं है. यहाँ पे आपको कोई renewal कराने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay. Now, sub rule 3. Now, every independent director shall submit a declaration of compliance. That is, we have complied with sub rule 1 and sub rule 2 that we have discussed. Sub rule 1 for application for inclusion of the name. Sub rule 2 is for the renewal thing. So this need to be submitted as a declaration of compliance to the board each time he submits the declaration required under section 149 subsection 7. So for your convenience, I'm just telling you कि 149 सबसेक्शन 7 में क्या था. यहाँ पे हम डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस दिया करता था इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर एवरी ईयर एट द फर्स्ट बोर्ड मीटिंग वेन एवर ही इज पार्टिसिपेटिंग, और आफ्टर एनी चेंज इन सच डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंसी ही नीड टू गिव अ डिक्लेरेशन कि 149 सबसेक्शन 6 की क्राइटेरिया में वो कंप्लाई कर रहा है. एंड सो ये एवरी ईयर दिया जाता था. अभी इसके साथ साथ एवरी इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर को डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ कंप्लायंस भी देना है. तो उन्हें दो चीजें देनी है. फर्स्ट उन्हें देना है डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस, जो कि दिया जाता था सेक्शन 149 सबसेक्शन 7 में, प्लस उन्हें देना है डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ कंप्लायंस ऑफ Rule 6, Sub Rule 1 and Sub Rule 2. So both these things need to be given at every in every financial year at first board meeting. तो उस financial year की suppose 1st April 2020 is the year that is started right now. So after this, whatever the first board meeting, whenever the first board meeting will be conducted, in that board meeting, the director need to disclose this two things. Okay. So what the sub rule 4 says, basically it says every individual whose name is so included in the data bank need to pass an online proficiency self-assessment test, which is conducted by the institute, again IICA, within a period of 1 year from the date of inclusion of his name in the data bank. So अगर आपने पहले तो एप्लीकेशन दी है अपना नेम इंक्लूड कराने में, अब एप्लीकेशन से 1 साल के अंदर 1 year के अंदर you need to pass this test, that is online proficiency test. Okay, and within 1 year you have to pass this, और अगर आप नहीं pass कर पाते हो then again your name will get removed from the data bank of the institute. Now there is an exemption which is given to such director or a KMP जिसके पास 10 years का experience है in any of this following. So they have an experience over 10 years as on the date of inclusion of their name in data bank. So suppose उनका नाम include हो रहा है 1st January 2020 में, तो 1st January 2020 से के दिन पे उनके पास एटलीस्ट 10 years का experience होना चाहिए in any of these company, that is either listed public company or unlisted public company having paid up share capital of 10 crore or more and a body corporate who is listed on recognized stock exchange. So अगर ऐसा qualification है, ऐसा experience है, तो आपको exemption मिल जाएगा, whether as a in the capacity of a director or in the capacity of a key managerial person. Now, other things that is to be remembered that we have seen already, institute means Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, and to pass in this particular test that we have mentioned, online proficiency test, individual should score not less than 60%. तो जितना आपका एग्जाम टफ है उतना ही ये टफ है. You need to have not less than score not less than 60%, and अगर आप स्कोर नहीं कर पाते तो आपका फेल हो जाएगा, फिर आपको दोबारा से अटेम्प्ट देना पड़ेगा. ओके, बट देर इज नो लिमिट ऑन नंबर ऑफ अटेम्प्ट, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. ओके, तो 1 साल का टाइम मिला है आपको, 1 साल के अंदर आप कितना भी अटेम्प्ट दे सकते हो, और आपको लेकिन स्कोर करना है एटलीस्ट 60% इन एग्रीगेट टू पास दिस टेस्ट. और अगर आप ये टेस्ट पास नहीं कर पाते हो, अगेन आपको ये डेटा बैंक से आपका नाम रिमूव हो जाएगा. ठीक है, इंडिविजुअल who don't have DIN, this is also an important thing जहाँ एग्जामिनर आपको घुमा सकता है. तो individual who don't have DIN but he wants to get appointed in an independent as an independent director in near future, not right now, they can make voluntary application to get their name included in the data bank base, and जब भी उनका अपॉइंटमेंट होगा तो उसके पहले वो अपना डिन ले सकते हैं. तो पहले इसमें आप नाम इंक्लूड करवा सकते हो और डिन बाद में भी ले सकते हो. Now, in what cases the name will get removed from the database? First is अगर आपने renewal की application नहीं दी है within 30 days from the date of expiry of 1 year or 5-year registration, where we had already covered this. And the second case, individual who fails to pass an online proficiency test within 1 year of his inclusion of his name, then also his name will get removed from the database. Okay. Now, companies also can get the access to this data bank. Okay, so company who choose to get appoint an independent director from the data bank who are basically eligible and willing to act as an independent director. Also, it is the duty on the company, not on the IACA, to conduct the due diligence before making such appointment. So this due diligence exercise, the responsibility lies with company and not with the institute before making such appointment. And information make available in the data bank will only be like the access to such information can only be given only when the companies pay required fee to get the access of those information. Then only they can get the list of the candidates who wants to get appointed as independent director. Okay. Now, this is also important thing that the company shall include in its board report a statement regarding the opinion of the board with the regard to the integrity, expertise, and experience, which include the proficiency that we had seen from that online proficiency test, okay, of the independent director who is appointed during the year. So the disclosure of such thing need to be made in the board report. So proficiency means here the proficiency of independent director as we had ascertained through this test. Now, why we are conducting this test? Because it is a very important post, and the stakeholders, investors are rely on this independent director, and that's why we want a person who is having a relevant experience and expertise and knowledge regarding the profession or the business in which he is entering into. So that's why it is the requirement to pass this test. Now, there are certain FAQs that may be asked in your examination related to this. There are 10 questions that we are going to discuss right now, and let's start with this. First is it mandatory to appoint an independent director from data bank only? As per law, is it mandatory? So answer is no. That is not a mandatory thing as per the law right now. Okay, अभी तक law में ऐसा mandate नहीं किया है, but near future में कर सकते हैं because it is already applicable on existing independent director and upcoming independent director. तो वो future में आ सकता है, but अभी फिलहाल के लिए ऐसा कुछ mandatory thing नहीं है. ठीक है? Is there any provision for cessation of independent director on removal of the name from the data bank either on account of not passing test or renewal? So basically it says अगर कोई test pass नहीं करता है या test से fail हो जाता है and he is already appointed as an independent director in the company, तो क्या उसे independent director का office vacate करना होगा because he is unable to pass the test? अगेन इसके लिए अभी तक कोई प्रोविजन आया नहीं है, कोई क्लैरिफिकेशन भी आया नहीं है. तो अभी आप ऐसा ही लिखोगे कि देयर इज नो स्पेसिफिक प्रोविजन रिलेटेड टू cessation of independent director on its own in case of the removal of his or her name from data bank. The third thing is it required to give a statement regarding the proficiency of independent director during financial year but not pass the test till the board report. We had already discussed this. Disclosure तो आपको करना पड़ेगा. However, in the case अगर 1 year complete नहीं हुआ है from the date of inclusion, तो still independent director has the opportunity to appear before IACA and give the test. And अगर जब वो पास कर जाता है उसके बाद जो भी बोर्ड रिपोर्ट होगा तो उसमें अपकमिंग में अकॉर्डिंगली डिस्क्लोजर कर दिया जाएगा. Then the next question is, can the information once shared by individual can be changed? Information can be changed within 30 days of such change. You need to make an application to make the changes in the data bank. Okay. Now, what if someone whose name is being included in the data bank and he attains that minimum years of directorship experience at a date post inclusion of his data bank? Will he required to be take the test? Means कि वो जो 10 year exemption मैंने आपको बताया, वो 10 year experience अगर उसका name include हुआ है 1st January, okay, and he got this exemption, he is qualified for this exemption in February 2020. Now he has got the 1 year time, that is up to 31st December 2020 he can basically clear the exam. So before that only he got this exemption. तो क्या उसे फिर भी टेस्ट के लिए अपेयर होना है? तो basically it says the individual whose name is included in the data bank does not possess minimum year of experience as provided in Rule 6 shall be required to pass online proficiency test. However, if such individual upon attainment of such experience, that is उसको जैसे February में मिल गया, during the course of the year or at any time later, will be exempted to take the test from the date of attaining such minimum year of experience. तो इस केस में भी उसको exemption मिल जाएगा. ठीक है. Who will provide the information required to be contained in the data bank? So basically it is on the individual only. He himself has to provide that information. But जो already appointed director है उन्होंने DIR 3 KYC already file कर रखा होगा. तो इंस्टीट्यूट के पास ऑलरेडी उसकी डिन की इंफॉर्मेशन और DIR 3 की KYC की इंफॉर्मेशन होती है, तो वो वहाँ से फैच कर लेते हैं. बट स्टिल अगर और भी कोई इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए तो वो इंडिविजुअल खुद देगा, उसकी खुद की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. ओके. Now, how to change any data which is coming from MCA 21. जब आपने DIN रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाया या DIR3 KYC अर्लियर आपने भरा, उसके बाद अगर कोई भी पर्टिकुलर्स में चेंज हुआ है तो आप कैसे इंटीमेट करोगे. फॉर दैट यू नीड टू फाइल फॉर्म DIR6 और DIR3 KYC with the MCA within 15 days of such change. Okay. Now, to get impanel with the data bank of independent director, DIN is mandatory or not. We had already discussed this. DIN is not mandatory. Upon getting inclusion of the name, they can get included their name with the help of PAN or passport number also. And before getting appointed in any company, they can obtain DIN. Now, if a person fails to pass proficiency test, can he be appointed as a normal director? Obviously, yes. To fail a proficiency test, by that he will not become disqualified under section 164, and until he is qualified as per section 164, he is not being disqualified to be appointed in any company. So obviously he can get appointed as a normal director, but he cannot be appointed as a independent director. Okay. Now we are done with this amendment. Thank you. And if you have any question, you can ask.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, guys. I have seen so many students are continue, watching this session. So till now, if you guys have any query, any doubt, you can ask directly to Priyanka ma'am over a chat, or you can raise your hand if you want to speak to her. Second, I have shared this Telegram channel link and WhatsApp group for CA final, and also I'm sharing for this CA final. Just a second. So just to inform you, for those who haven't appeared for this yesterday's session taken by Priyanka ma'am, or other session which are taken by for your this final level exam, you can join this our Telegram channel. You can ask there to share the playlist, or you can join in our this WhatsApp group relevant to your exam, CMA final, and this is also for just a second. Again share this. Yeah. Now I have served this CA final group as well. Right. So you can join this group, WhatsApp group, and you can also ask there to share the playlist for this complete final level exam for CA final and CMA final, which we had done till now. So I don't see any questions from anybody's. Do you guys like this session or not? Can you just tell me so that we can accordingly arrange, further session on your final level exam? Do you want to continue for this final level live sessions? Do you need any specific subject or any specific professor by whom you wanted to conduct this session? You can ask me or you can tell me in over a chat so that we can plan accordingly. You guys can also further drop us your request on support at supercross.com, also in our sub WhatsApp group. Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka. So we don't
Thank you.
have any query till now. So
Okay.
now we are closing this session at this point, and we'll definitely meet you guys again on day after tomorrow at the same time, 7:30, with another final level session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure, Gayatri. We definitely conduct this SCM and SFM session near future, and you will get notified from our site via our this Telegram channel, or you can join this our WhatsApp group. We will definitely notify you over WhatsApp as well. Any other questions you guys have, you can ask, or any other request for any other subject, please let me know so that I can plan accordingly these sessions. I can ask those any professor through whom you are studying till now. So if you let me know, so I can ask them to arrange this session for you. You if you have any query, any questions from subject, you can note down and you can ask those questions and your queries on this session, on this live session directly to professor. Thank you anyway. I'm closing this session right now. So if you have any query, any doubt, you can put your request on WhatsApp group or Telegram. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you being this wonderful audience. Have a nice day.